welcome back to the Corporate Burnouts podcast. How are you, Mandy?
Doing good. How are you?
I am doing good. I'm doing good. It's my birthday week, so
I know.
I am doing very good. It's not like an exciting one, but I'm
Yeah.
here, so
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah. 43. Not so
Yeah.
exciting,
Yeah,
but
you just outed me to the whole world. Thank you.
it's okay. I'm right
Listen,
behind you.
I've got all the evidence. It's just all under here. We just
hmm
keep it nicely tucked away.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that there are some people at 43 who they cannot tame it. It's just everywhere.
Yeah.
Your hair's
Yeah,
still
I
real
guess I'm
dark.
pretty lucky.
hmm
I'll take it.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. So what are you doing? Tell everyone what you're
Well,
doing.
we are going to Santa Fe for the weekend. We are going to go somewhere I've never been, spend some time tooting around and no major agenda, just get out of town, breathe air from somewhere else, and I guess check out Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Yeah.
Here we come. I'm
I'm
excited.
sure it'll be great.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Santa Fe. I went, what was the store? Las Cruces.
hmm
Across from, El Paso, so I went over to Las Cruces, but that's as far as I've been into New Mexico.
I've
I'll definitely have
I've
to get
actually
there.
been all over New Mexico, and to be fair, I think I may have been through Santa Fe, maybe even spent the night driving through. We did like a road trip one year all over the West. It was very intentionally like a Chevy Chase vacation. Like I
Mhm.
wanted the kids to hate us when we got home, and it worked, but I think I hated them more.
Yeah.
Kind of backfired on me. But
Yeah.
it was a great trip, but we did not spend time in Santa Fe. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah.
My dad was a truck driver, and so the very first time I went to New Mexico was in the summer, like sometime in junior high, and I was so excited he was going to let me go with him. And I was like, I've never been to New Mexico. This is going to be so great. And he's like,
Mhm.
okay, buddy. And I was asleep in the the camper part
Yeah.
of
Mhm.
the cab of his truck, and told him to wake me up when we get to New Mexico. Like, I want to see it.
Mhm.
And so he was like, okay, we're here. And I like poked
It's
my
just
head out there and look around. I'm
desert.
like, there's not even a freaking tree to look at.
No.
Like, there's literally nothing. And he's cackling, like,
Yeah.
yep. And I was like, I'm going back to sleep. This
Yeah,
is
he said
stupid.
he said, "That was what I knew you were going to say."
Yeah. He thought it was hysterical that I wanted to go and was like, I'm just going to let you be excited. Joke's on you.
Mhm.
We're going to get there and you're going to be pissed. And well,
Yeah.
that's what happened.
Yeah, wait for Arizona. It's prettier.
Yeah. Well, Arizona is actually freaking gorgeous, but I
Mhm.
didn't know that until later in life, too. So.
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
you had quite the adventure this weekend going out of state too. Tell me
Yeah.
about that trip.
So we went to South Dakota, and if you've
Mhm.
never been to South Dakota, it is actually really pretty. It's a really pretty place. This is the second, well, I've been there a bunch of times for
Yeah.
work, but I only went to Sioux Falls, which is barely into South Dakota. But whenever you drive west in South Dakota, it's really pretty. They have lots of hills and they have lots of, like it's pretty.
It's not a state that you hear a lot about, especially in the realm of beauty.
Yeah, it's kind of a I don't want to call it a hidden gem. It's no Colorado or
Yeah.
Utah, but it's a lot better than North Dakota. Don't go to North
Yeah.
Dakota. Don't even worry about checking it off your list. Like it's the most lonely, terrible place ever. But
Oh, well.
South Dakota, I really do like. But we go up there for pheasant hunting. And
Uh-huh.
of course, I don't pheasant hunt, but it's really fun because when you think of hunting, you think of sitting in a stand somewhere and waiting for things to come to you. And the reason that we go to South Dakota is because you can road hunt. Okay. So you get in a truck and you just drive until you see the birds and then you stop it and everybody jumps out of the truck and starts shooting at the birds. And so it's actually really funny
That
and
sounds
kind of
chaotic.
exciting. It is. It's super chaotic.
You're like,
You should
yeah,
ask
try not to get shot.
Wally how much he liked it. So
I was
I
about to
only went
say, your presence is very much needed there, not to be a hunter, but
no.
to tame the dogs who don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, so just dog because baby he's like, this is great. I love the
Okay.
chaos. I'm not afraid of because they throw the doors open, they start shooting shotguns. It's loud,
Yeah.
and baby's like, I don't care. This is cool.
Yeah.
But Wally is crawling out of his skin.
Can't
Like
handle it.
he's literally like, how do I get away from this? We were making jokes that he was trying to jump out of the truck to warn the birds because he hates
Right?
murdering. but
It's like,
he
"Murder, no."
he is so scared. So we just went that one time because we had gone for that day, and we went to the Badlands, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Um,
I saw your video, it was really neat. It
yeah, it's
reminded
really
me
cool.
of, the scenes in the Lion King. Obviously, that's a cartoon, but, like, what was that called? Like, outside the Pride Lands, what do they call it?
I don't remember.
Can't remember now. It was, like, where the elephant graveyard was, but anyways, it
Mhm.
was, like, when you sent me the Badlands, I was like, "Is this is not Africa where the Lion King was," and then I was watching the video, I was
Yeah.
like, "Kinda looks like the old Simba went outside the Pride Lands."
Yeah, it's kind of it's interesting, and
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore is there too. We didn't do that this year, but we did it last year with
Uh-huh.
the kids, and so yeah, it's just they have some cool stuff there, and like I said, the guys like to hunt pheasants, and it's fun. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I like it the most. Like the reason that I like to go is because they go hunting most of the day, and then I get to work, like, I get
Yeah,
work
working
done.
on location.
Yeah, but then I get to read, and I get to catch up on shows, or I get like, I Dan is very entertained by everybody else, and they get to have all the guy time, and I get to catch up where nobody needs me, like,
Yeah.
at all. So, it's fun.
So
It's
you
fun.
just finished the book Verity, right?
So, no, I'm still reading
Oh,
Verity.
you're still in it. Okay, well, I knew that we talked about it, and I told Paisley that you were reading it, and she cut me off mid-sentence, ran to her room, got the book, and, like, gave it to me, and she was like, "Start it today. Mom, this book is so good." And I was like, "I remember you basically have already told me the entire plot of the book, so, like, I know what to expect." And she was like, "It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but, like, don't read it in front of people because it gets a little spicy." And I was like,
Yeah, I was reading it at a
"Girl,
swim
what
meet
are you
last night.
reading?"
Yeah, so I obviously am probably only 100 pages in or something. I was reading it at the swim meet last night in between swims, and, um, it was it was a situation where I was like, "I hope that nobody is looking at the page," like, I hope that no
Yeah.
one's looking at my phone because I'm not trying to read porn here, but, like,
Well, that's
it's
what Paisley was like, "You need to be careful who sees you reading this book because if they've read it and they know what you're reading, they're gonna read your facial expressions." And I was like, "Did you take this book to school? Like, is there, like, an age limit on here? Like, how did I not know you were reading?" She was like, "It's not, like, that bad, but, like, it could be
Yeah,
embarrassing. Like, don't read it in front of grandma." I was like, "Oh, Lord."
that's so funny. So, yes, I would love if you would start reading it too,
Yeah.
and then we could just kind of book club about it because I never read books with other
Other
people.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, I finished a different one last week by Colleen Hoover. It was Hopeless. Have you read
Mm.
Hopeless?
No, I've actually never read any of the Colleen Hoover books. I saw It Ends With Us
Mhm,
in theaters, but actually I
mhm.
didn't even see it in theaters. I saw it when it started streaming.
Yeah.
But, that's the only Colleen Hoover
So
experience that I have.
I like her books, because it's not cut and dry. It's not like, they meet and they kinda hate each other, and then they start to like each other, and then somebody does something really screwed up, and then it's all happy in the end, like,
Yeah.
that's a romance novel. This
So
is
it's not Nicholas Sparks is what you're saying?
no, and Nicholas Sparks even has variety
Yeah, a
in,
little bit, yeah.
he's more literature than
Mhm.
romance, if you will, but I feel like I never know for sure what's gonna happen, like,
Yeah.
things generally work out in her books, but it takes they just have more depth to them, I guess, so I like them.
Okay, I am committing here in front of God and everybody, it sounds like.
Mhm,
I'm going to start Verity and
mhm,
make my daughter proud, or I don't know, I may have to get her in trouble for what she's reading. I have no idea, we'll see. But I will start reading the book, but I'm
mhm.
curious from your standpoint, having literally just been on this really cool trip, but also working while you're gone, getting to read, like, all of this stuff at one time. How are you able to, like, disconnect enough to enjoy your time away, spend time with Dan, spend time with yourself in the book, get work done, but then, like, draw that line to where the notifications of all of the work life that's continuing while you're trying to enjoy stepping back a little bit even if just for part of the day. How do you balance that and not get, like, all stressed out and anxious over the notifications because technology is
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think that I'm pretty good at compartmentalizing notifications. I don't have them. Our phones look very different because I don't get notifications for everything. The red dot will be there, right? But
Mhm.
I have to go looking for it. So I don't get notifications that I have a Teams chat. I don't have it's just part of my process to after I get done with a task, whatever I'm working on, then I go and check all the notifications, right?
Mhm.
So it's not like they're popping up while I'm playing a game on my phone where I'm like, oh, got to
Yeah.
stop what I'm doing here and I got to check these notifications because I do have to have a semblance of a life when I'm not trying to be working.
Actively working.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I
so
should
I
probably
think
do
that the
that.
biggest thing, yeah, you have to turn off. I don't get notifications for Facebook outside of Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Like I don't get any of that on my phone. I don't get notifications. I mean, I literally get notifications for Life 360 for just the kids, nobody
Mhm.
else. And just to, you know
Yeah.
what's going on.
That's a safety thing.
Yes, but otherwise, I get text and call notifications, no email notifications, no, because I just have made it part of my when I am doing that, like when it's time to check all the notifications, I will check them. And the ones that I don't need, like for a game on my phone,
I
do
was
you know
like,
how
I'm
to
just checking my
do you
red
know how to
dots.
fix it?
Yeah, I know how, but, like, I'm telling you, everything that's ever been downloaded to my phone, I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 whatever." And so when you go into my notifications, I'm gonna have to, like, manually go, "Turn it off, turn it off, turn it off,
Mhm.
turn it off." And actually, I think it's turn it off, yes, turn it off, turn it off, yes, turn it off,
Yep.
like, the double click. I
It's
just
gonna
need
be
to
a
do
lot.
that, because I have found that there are some things that I need notifications on, and I miss them because I just assume it's a stupid
It's
game that I'm
crying
like,
wolf. Mhm.
"Not playing that game right now, leave me alone," and I don't even
Mhm.
look. You're right, it's
Yep.
my phone crying wolf, and then I'm
Mhm.
like, so I missed that, even though I did
Mhm.
get notified, I ignored it because there's just too much noise coming in, and I
Yep.
think that the concept of that is not even just the dings on your phone or the red dot that shows
Mhm.
up, like, I have friends that have hundreds of unchecked even text messages, and I'm like, "How do you how"
I can't do that.
I
But it's
can't do
not
that.
because I check a message every single time that it comes in. It's because I have time after I get done with what I'm doing to check all of those messages and
Yeah,
return messages and figure out what I don't need, right? That wasn't
yeah.
for me. It was a group chat or whatever.
But I
Yeah.
have to open it to see what it is to
But
what
there's
I don't
definitely
have.
two types of people who have
Yeah,
to open those things. I was sitting next to somebody recently. It might have been Anna, and I was like, "Your phone stresses me out," and I don't wanna throw her under the bus because I don't know for sure that it was her, but I think that it was, and things weren't organized in folders, like, just it was all willy-nilly where the apps were on, like, 15 screens, and I was just like, no, that makes me"
like, I can't look at it.
but I'm like, there are 2 types of people, the ones that are not bothered in any way by all the red
Yeah.
dots, and then the ones who have to make them go away before they can concentrate
So, I
again.
think I'm middle of the road when it comes to that, like, when it comes to the red dot that is beside the phone call and the text message, like,
Mhm,
I have voicemails
mhm,
and I have text messages that I've not opened, and it's bothering me right now in this moment because,
mhm,
huh? I I as soon as this is over, I will go check that because I wanna know who's trying to get a hold of me and what do they need. That
mhm,
makes me crazy. My personal email inbox probably has 150,000 unchecked messages, and I don't care. Let that red bubble stay forever because
mhm.
if I gave you that email address, probably wasn't ever planning to
But
open it
you can
anyway.
also you can make that because I have probably on my mail, that's my Yahoo. I
Uh-huh.
have probably the same 100,000 unread messages, but you can make it so that it doesn't even show it on the thing too. And
I
because
just need
I
to
can't
play with
I
my
can't get
settings.
used to any of them. Look at it. I have 2, okay?
Yeah.
So I have that one, which I think is probably for Beans and Brews. No, it's a chat because you were checking stuff off the
Oh, because I
list.
was checking things off the to-do list. You're
Yep.
welcome.
and then one text message that we've gotten since we've been on here, and it can't be any other way. It
Yeah.
can't.
Well, because or else then you're like me, you ignore all notifications because and I never, ever,
Mhm.
ever have my ringer on,
Mhm.
ever, because to
No.
have your ringer on means you hear ding, ding,
Mhm.
ding. Like, I'm not doing that
Yeah, but what about the people, so, like, Tanner has do not disturb on at all times. He is 100% of the time in do not disturb. And so I can call him and it goes straight through because I'm on
because
the
you're on his
list,
favorites list.
but, like, text messages, he will never hear a ding or even a vibration,
He gets
right?
nothing because he just keeps do not disturb on.
Mhm,
That's
and then he
interesting.
checks them. He gets back to me quickly, but
My friend Misty is like that too.
mhm,
She does it during working hours, it makes sense,
mhm,
like, she keeps do not disturb on.
mhm,
So when I call her and it goes straight to voicemail, I just know that if you turn around and call her immediately, it will go through, and I'm like,
yeah,
"You can keep do not disturb all you want to, but I'm still gonna call you, and you're
mhm.
still gonna answer," and she just cracks up every time because she's like, "Just calling me anyway, got my
Yeah.
voicemail,
Well, when
calling
you
me anyway."
know yeah, when you know that somebody has do not disturb on all the time, but I think that it's an anxiety thing for some people. Like, I don't
Mhm.
like like, I've turned off notifications on some of the group chats. It's like I check my text messages enough that I'll catch up on the group chat.
Yeah,
But sometimes when they go off, when there's 15 people in a group chat, when they go off, I mean, it'll drive me
yeah.
crazy. If I'm trying to do something on my phone and it just keeps popping down, I'm like, I don't
And I
care.
get how that gives you anxiety, but for me too, on the flip side of that, if I pick up my phone and I have 43 mixed text messages, like obviously before you open it up and realize, oh,
Mhm.
it's all a group chat, that I'm like, oh my God, like somebody's on fire, somebody's dead, they're all
Mhm.
trying to get me, or like that makes my blood pressure go up. Like I can't handle that. So I would
Yeah.
rather get the bzz, and I'm like,
Yep.
okay, what's
We just
happening?
have different
Silence this. Yeah.
anxieties.
We definitely do. And I think that's important to realize is that
Mhm.
there's not one way for
Mm-mm.
everyone. But equating our crazy telephone situations and notifications to burnout, I think that part of burnout is it's not just about overworking, it's the overcommunication and the overstimulation
Mhm.
of all of the technology that is all in your face all at the same time. And going back to our previous life, communication was coming at us from so freaking many places that,
Mhm.
like, to follow up with something, I'd be like, I remember that I got that, but like, was it an email? Was it a text? Was that in group
Yeah.
me? Was it WhatsApp?
And
Where
then
is this
which group me,
information?
like which group
Because I
it's
literally had like
Mhm.
37.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that that is huge, and I think that it led into some of our burnout and or did it make it better because
Yeah.
you are at all times being inundated with different communication. And how do you balance it? How does that not feel overwhelming at all
Yeah.
times, right? Because you have teams, right? So you have text and call and email. That's
Mhm.
always everybody has those. And then we had Teams, we had GroupMe, we had WhatsApp for one group, so the
Yeah,
Android
for the
users.
Android users, it was like, "Oh my god, I don't care if you're the freaking boss. Go buy an iPhone, get with the times so you can text on an airplane." Not calling anybody out. Amanda. Hope she watches this.
We're not mad.
Oh, that's
We're not mad that
fantastic.
you had an Android. We don't understand,
The green
um
text, I am still bitter about it. It's fine.
But so we had WhatsApp for that, and then some people would message us on Messenger, on
Yep,
Facebook, you know? So there's lots of different ways that we're being communicated with and expected to be super accessible all the time, and it's
yep.
like, it's too much communication, and too much communication, it's like those group emails where you're like, everyone's replying all.
To say
Why
thank
do I
you.
need these? Yeah, well, it's just there's so much that we didn't need to be a part of, but
Mhm.
we needed some of the information sometimes maybe,
Yeah.
and so we had to be a part of all of those different chats, and it's a lot of information coming in, and it's a lot of distractions, and it's a lot of things that are making us feel like we aren't keeping up, which definitely
Right.
lends to burnout.
And when you are keeping up with that, something that I found is that when I was on top of it responsively, and I had all messages checked in all areas and, had an organized to-do list based off of requests or things coming from 15 different directions. It's like I thought I was getting an A for responsiveness, but then the results aren't there. But it was very difficult to get the results that you needed to and the productivity that you needed to when you're like, okay, next task. Crap, where's that information? I have to go check 10 spots, and it
Mhm,
takes like an additional 10 minutes to gather your shit for a task to
mhm.
even be able to get going. And that sort of shift of focus where you're having to jump from platform to platform to find all the missing pieces to do what should be really simple is like that's draining. And if you're
It is.
already like even on the cusp of burnout, like that makes me want to flip my desk. Like, never
Mhm.
mind, screw it. I'm taking an early weekend. Like, I'm
Well,
out of
and
here.
that's if you even continued on the task that you were doing. Because if I'm going
Yeah.
to all these different places, now I'm into this conversation and I have forgotten what I was doing in the first place. I think that that might be one of the reasons that we were pushed so hard to, I forget what that, Megan Lemon, she spoke on, what was
Ooh,
that
that was
book?
really good. I just saw it.
But I still do. I'm not gonna be able to remember this easily. It was David something. I can't remember what the book was called. Maybe we'll be able to put it in the notes. But basically, it was about compartmentalizing everything, putting everything in a box, dumping your whole brain out of everything that you need to do, and putting it into categories so that you can stay focused. Like you do all the things on your list that you have to do on your phone, and then you do all the things on your list that you have to do on email, and then you do all the things on your list,
Yeah.
and so on and so on. And I still do my to do lists that way because I can stay more focused. If I need to get into Squarespace to fix something on a website, I am going to look at my list and see if there's anything else that I can do on another website while I'm there
On the computer.
because
Yeah.
yeah, because it's not just the communications on your phone, all the different places that people communicate with us that is it's technology in general. So
Mhm.
whenever I get on my browser here, you know, I could get lost in just about anything. Like I could sit here
Yeah.
and just watch reels because I got off of the Squarespace sites and
Yep.
now I'm on something else. There's just so many things to keep track of.
Yeah, and technology, like, while I feel like it has made us so much stronger and more effective and more productive, it's been such a blessing to the corporate environment. It's also like it makes it easier to micromanage, right? You're micromanaging through that little red dot rather than standing over the person that you're trying to
Mhm.
micromanage. But I think it goes beyond just the communication tools of it all, right? So like again, looking at reporting, for us now in our world now, there's analytics on every last thing at your fingertips,
Mhm.
whether it's on social media or on websites, like the things that we're creating and really checking that out.
Mhm.
Cause, you built something great. You want to know if it's working. So you want to look at it all the time. And when it's all right here at your fingertips, it makes it really hard to back away, especially like thinking about weekends and vacations and that time where you're supposed to be off, if you will. But you've got these habits of, well, this is just at my finger. Oh, well, I'm just going to check it really fast because I just want to know because my brain is over here. It's too easy to feed your brain what it's asking for because you've got this mental curiosity going on in your work world, but your goal was to turn it off. So, when I go back to the restaurant world between Power BI and the Pulse app that we had, so they had sales information at our fingertips at all times. You could see who was clocked in, you could see labor metrics, you could see everything in real time in the moment. And
Mhm.
like it's so hard not to get consumed by that
Mhm.
because it is
And
too accessible.
yeah, and you're saying it's a habit to look at it. It's also an addiction and an obsession as
Yeah,
well.
you're totally right. It's the dopamine of getting the information. It's like, "Ooh,
Yeah,
I get
it's
the
like
update."
finding out that your post went viral, right? And you want to
Yep.
keep looking and seeing how it's doing now. It is just like that with results and analytics. Like I take a lot of
Mhm.
pride in what we do. And if I can look at Spotify and see
Mhm.
that this episode has a ton more listeners than usual, or that we just posted it at midnight last night and now we already have more than we
Yeah.
usually have. Like it's addicting. It's
Yeah,
addicting. We want to see what we have done and we want to get that pat on the back from ourselves and to be able to share. It's an addiction. It's not just a
it totally
habit.
is. It totally is. And I don't know that I have the discipline to do it, but I would say if it is a problem for you, do an experiment. Like when you get done at 5 o'clock on Friday and you're gonna like weekend with the best of them, like what app is it that is a problem for you to like let go of? Whether it's communication with people in the office or whatever that looks like, or
Mhm,
maybe it is reporting. Like you don't have to delete the account, but delete the app for the weekend. Make it inaccessible to you and like measure your stress level. Did it change anything?
mhm,
Or, like, to me, I think I would just be like, "Oh, I gotta check my email, and I'm gonna go get on the computer and go, what is it I need to
mhm.
know?" But maybe not. Like, maybe you'd be like, "Oh, well, I mean, I'll get to that on Monday."
Yeah.
Make you a little bit more
Well,
disciplined to check out a little.
yeah, some people have said that it is a habit. Whenever I get on my phone, sometimes I'm like, "Why am I on Instagram?" Like, I got on here to check my email, or I got on here to get on my banking app, and somehow I'm on Instagram because it's one of my first stops whenever I am just hanging out on my phone.
Yep.
And some people say that they just take that, they don't delete it. Obviously, just
Just
keep in
move it.
mind, if you have to delete any apps, it won't get rid of your stuff on the social media ones. It will get rid of your drafts though. So just keep that in mind. Don't delete
Ooh,
that because you'll
good
delete
call.
drafts. But some people just take them from their home screen and they just put them on a later screen so that it's
Yeah.
not as, because the
It's not as
willpower,
mindless.
some people have the willpower, they just the muscle memory is what it is.
Mhm.
So that's also a good way to do it because we do need to distance ourselves from work on the weekend. It's a lot
Yeah.
easier for us. Our clients are not reaching out nearly as much on the weekends. And
Yeah.
so we can pretty much like you asked me how I managed to still get what I wanted to do done in South Dakota, and 2 of the days were over the weekend. That
Yeah.
makes a difference. But because I have less people hanging out, but I also did a couple of projects this weekend because I have things that I want to do for the business, and we have Dan's app coming out soon, so I had some
Mhm.
stuff that I wanted to do there, and I have to do that in free time. I am not getting paid for that, so we gotta do the paying clients during the week. But I I also was like, I'm gonna spend 2 hours on this, and then I'm going to watch Nashville because I want to watch that because that's
Because
what
I
I'm
want
doing.
to, and I can.
Yeah, I just wanna just kind of veg out, and that's what I wanted to do. So, but you also have to say, "I'm not gonna let it take up my whole weekend," you know?
Mm-mm.
You have to do that, but yeah, it helps that the communication slows down
Yeah.
significantly. But
Yeah,
it
and I think
doesn't if
that's
you're
like
just
you've set that stage early on in business, like when your hours of communication are with clients and things like that, so that you don't fight that urge on the weekend nearly so much as you may have in a previous life.
Mhm,
But what I find really interesting is that there's actually like there's scientific research that suggests that that digital fatigue, like it has a psychological impact on all of us, whether it's the unfinished tasks or the message that you get, that it creates this like false sense of urgency on something that is genuinely probably not an emergency. And it's a distraction. And for those of you with undiagnosed ADHD like myself, I don't need any more distractions, right? So, like, if I'm in the middle of a task and I'm really focused and my phone rings or dings and it's a client or you, or like, I'm not going to not take that call. I'm not going to not respond immediately. And the people pleaser in me wants to stop what I'm doing and make your needs more important than what I was already doing and completely divert away from what I was focused on and do whatever it is that you need me to do. That's the people pleaser in me. You've been screaming at me for probably well over 2 years now, long before this business, to be like, "Hey, it's okay. Like, you can ask if it's an emergency. If they need you right now, okay, fine. If not, like, tell them when you can get back to it." And I'm like, that is so hard for me because for so long, I think we were brainwashed that responsiveness was, or I could say responsiveness, like the availability was like part of the job. It was like doing a good job was to be available. To
Mhm.
hell with the results, I guess, of the actual work that you're putting out there.
Mhm. Well, but a lot of our job was optics too. They're like, "We're paying these people to be available, to be your consultant and your coach at all times." We are, this business runs a little bit different. I am very accessible. I'm not making people wait
Yeah.
48 hours, but it's like, "Listen, I'm in the middle of something right now. I want to keep focusing on it. So can I call you back?" Like, I like to set up appointments. Can I call you back at 3 o'clock, or can we meet at
Mhm.
10 tomorrow? And because first and foremost, I'm not going to be as focused if I'm in the
Mhm.
middle of something and now I'm talking to you. Secondly, I might just abandon what I was doing and solve your problem because, again, I'm a people pleaser as well. But do you know who's ever been mad at me for still, by the end of the day, getting all of their stuff done, but
No
I
one.
finished what I was doing? Nobody. And if someone said, "No, this is an emergency, you put something weird on my social media and it needs to be changed," then that becomes the priority. If there's
Yeah.
something that is,
They will tell you. If they need
yes.
you right now,
Mhm.
they will tell you.
Mhm. Yep.
And it's fair to give them the opportunity to tell you what's an emergency and what's not.
Mhm.
Like,
Yep.
I have a client that will call me, and if I don't answer, he will immediately text me and say, "I need you to call me back as soon as possible." Or he will say, "Hey, no rush, just call me when you can." And
Mhm.
I love that because then I don't feel like, you miss a call and I feel like, "Ugh, I didn't answer, like I need to call you back right now." But when he
Mhm.
follows that up with a text message that tells me whether or not I need to get back to
Yep.
you, it relieves the pressure, or it goes, "Okay, like, this is actually a priority. I need to jump on this one."
And you can teach people how to communicate with you that way,
Mhm.
because I want to never stop working on what I'm working on for you, for a
Yeah.
client that it's not an emergency, and I don't want to do that in return to somebody else. So I think that we have to communicate with people. We all also have to realize that it might not just be the people pleaser. It might actually be something that, I don't know how to say this. We feel our worth through
Yeah,
work a lot, and we try not to,
it's
because it's not
validation.
the thing that matters the most. But you put out someone's fire. When you put out their fire for them quickly, you're more proud, right?
Yeah,
But did you potentially start another fire? Maybe, probably not. Did you leave something and now it's never getting back to?
yeah,
Because it's just, you put out the fire 2 hours later, the fire would still be out, but you don't
right.
feel as like, "I did it. I got it."
Yeah, it's your own gratification that
Mhm,
you got to it. You did a good job and you did a good job in a timely
mhm,
manner. But I
mhm,
think the difference is you can still do that great job in a timely manner without it being immediate.
mhm,
And there are several takeaways from this conversation for me. Specifically, it all goes back to, and I don't even want to say it, but it all goes back to boundaries. Setting boundaries that actually works.
mhm,
I know that I need to go do some notification surgery on my phone and turn
mhm,
off all those urgent alerts so that when my phone does alert me on something, I need to pay attention to it to, like,
mhm,
retrain my brain on notifications and what they're actually meant for rather than
mhm,
ignoring them all because they're mostly games. I also think that scheduling time on your calendar for that, like, working free blocks and then having those blocks on your calendar where if somebody does call, I'll be available at 3 o'clock today. Can we talk then? If it's an emergency, they're gonna tell you. If it's
mhm,
not, then we can talk at 3 o'clock. It's not that big of a
mhm,
deal. And then, create rules around when you check those chats, when you check those emails, so that if you get yourself in a structure and a routine, rather than letting the notification tell you what the next priority is, you go to the notifications or lack of notifications, you go to the communication platform when
Mhm,
you are ready to tackle that next one.
mhm. Yep.
I don't know that I have the bandwidth or the strength to get through all those same things at at one time, but I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be on my
Notifications
priority
first.
list. On
Yeah.
my drive tomorrow, I'm going to do
Yes.
some notification surgery, a little hygiene on the old
Mhm.
telephone, if you know what I
And
mean.
it's gonna help, with your battery too,
Yeah,
like, to not get all
probably.
those notifications. Something else that I did during a drive recently is because 'cause I've never had the notifications on for any of that, but
Mhm.
I have location services on for a lot of things that I don't need that
Oh,
were
and that's
draining
probably
my
draining.
battery way
Hmm.
too fast. Because I got a new phone in, like, July, and I could not believe how fast my
Yeah.
but with a new phone, it had messed up some of the settings and I had location services on for literally everything. So think about that too. What do you not need location services on for? Because that's just a phone battery thing, but it made me happy to get those all turned off.
But when your phone's about to die, that's another thing that distracts you and takes you away from your
Mhm.
productivity. So it all
Yep,
kind of matters.
it does. Mhm.
I think that we should also really take a look at what of these apps, what are these communication tools like? Is it possible to consolidate? And I know that we tried this
Should
in
try.
a
Mhm.
former life where it was like, we're only going to communicate as a team in this way so that we don't have all this crazy going on. In theory, it sounded great. It didn't happen because it was crazy. But if we could use all of these platforms, whether it's the informational ones or the communication ones, whatever that is, strategically instead of reactively, and letting them run us, I feel like like in theory anyway, we could get so much more done. You
Mhm.
have to be disciplined to run technology instead of letting technology run you.
Mhm. Yeah. I have really I thought that I was getting away from all of that 100 different notification centers deal when I started
Mhm.
my business, but now we roll with what our clients need. Not always, right? We
Yeah.
try and set them up the way that we like to communicate because we know that that's how we're best at communicating. But some people are like, I am not allowed to message you outside of Teams. Like,
Yeah.
that's our company policy. That's how we have to, because then it's
Mhm.
all somewhere where somebody can see it
Yep.
fine.
It's all
So we
monitored.
have only one client right now that we communicate through Teams.
But we have one that we communicate through a Google Chat,
Mhm. Yep,
which
and
is great. It's all streamlined.
one through Asana. We've done Slack. We
Mhm.
don't do that anymore.
I don't
Um,
like Slack.
Facebook Messenger, it just depends, but it's so complicated to me
Mhm.
because, I know what I need to check every time, like, you're like, "You have to come up with a process." My process is in between things, like, I get something done, I check it off my list, and then I check everywhere that I need to, and then I look at the list again, and I start on the next thing. That's my process, and I'm trying to get you on that process
Yeah, I
too.
know. I know. And I am actually actively trying not to buck the system. I think it's an unconscious rebellion because I'm consciously trying.
Yes.
But what I think is really interesting and very smart about your system is that because we get so much communication from different platforms from clients, is when you make a calendar appointment, I've seen this, you will put meeting with Mandy
Mhm.
and then also make a note in that calendar appointment that your communication is in Messenger or your communication's been through email or your communication is on Teams. That way, you don't have to sit in that moment and go, "Oh crap, where do like I know I've talked to you, but like where is
Yeah,
this
where
at?"
do I find that phone number?
Yes.
They sent it to me through Messenger or they sent it to me on email because it's incredible how many places people
Mhm.
communicate with you. And especially if it's like TikTok messages.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would I even think to look there? That's the least amount of messages that I get.
Yeah.
And I'm
Or
like,
in
I literally
Instagram
can't
that is like
remember. Mhm.
buried behind a ton of like meme comments from something we
Yeah.
posted,
Mhm.
It's like,
Mhm.
"Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I'll have to scroll
Mhm.
back 100 times down to get to that message." So,
Mhm.
yeah, I just think that's really
Yeah.
smart that you leave yourself
Mhm.
breadcrumbs to know exactly how to get back to the beginning of the conversation and keep it
It's a
all together.
system. It's a system. I wish that I didn't have to have it. I wish that everyone would just text me or email me.
Yeah, but there's
But
something to be said for when you are managing different clients, like, as a paying customer somewhere, I don't expect to have to cater to the way you wanna communicate. I'm paying
absolutely.
you, homie. You can,
Yeah.
like, we're gonna do things my way, and I can respect that. So, I don't mind the flexibility. I find myself doing the, "Oh, crap. Where's that? Did that come from Mandy? Did that come
Mhm.
from the client? Is that in my email? Did she text me that, or did they text me that? Who were
Mhm.
like,"
I
and
know.
just that simple step of, "This is where this information lives," in your calendar invite is a it's not even just a time saver, you know exactly where to go. It's like the mental capacity
Mhm.
saver, right? Like, I don't have
Yep.
to overthink this and get stressed out before a meeting. I think it's brilliant.
Mhm. I agree. I agree.
With that, I will say that, bringing this all back to burnout and how this is just one element that contributes, but I think it's a big one that is probably under recognized, that this digital world that we've built is not sustainable without boundaries in place for them. And if we can use them
Mhm.
strategically rather than reactively, it's going to make a big impact so that it's working for us instead of beating us down and burning us out. So, I would highly recommend for those of you listening to challenge yourself, audit your tools, turn off any unnecessary notifications or an app if you need to, um, based on some quiet time during the week or during a vacation. Set some boundaries. I promise your brain's going to thank you. And also, like, tell us all your stories. We want to know, what is your one productivity tool burnout story that maybe burned you down, or you have a light bulb moment that you're like, "Oh, I can make one simple change and things could be different." You can hit us up on thecorporateburnouts.com or send us a DM or comment on Instagram. We would love to hear it.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I completely agree. It does get out of control, and we have to figure out how to just make it a little bit better. You
Yeah.
can't make it all the way better. You can't just burn it down and say, "I'm not talking to anyone except for on text message." Although I think that it seems like that's what some people are doing. Like, I won't
Yeah,
answer the
it's
phone. I won't answer emails. I'm just going to text you. But
well,
for
think
right
about it.
now,
That's what I did when I left corporate. I was like, "I'm not using a calendar ever again."
I know.
It's
Oh,
taken
it's
me
so
2
hard to
years
get
to
you
get
back
back
into
to put
this.
on the hey, I'm good. My calendar
Yes.
is back to functional. I'm good.
Yes.
I dropped that rebellion.
Yeah.
Back to the
To-do lists, they're
calendar.
all they're all very healthy for
It's
us.
coming back.
But what can you do to make it just a little bit better for yourself? Because
Yeah.
you might be dropping the ball on other people due to so many lines of technology out there for us to communicate with each other, but you're mostly just letting yourself down and stressing yourself out. So,
Yeah.
how can we do it? Think about
Well,
it. Tell us your stories. This is a good conversation.
I know, I like it, and I really like what you just said there. It's like a very last minute takeaway. It's like every time that you stop doing what you were doing to put somebody else's needs first, it feels selfless, it feels good, like you're giving and all the things, but you're the only one losing.
Mhm.
You're
Yep.
letting yourself down every single time, and it's like, well, nobody else is noticing that. No, there's no recognition for letting yourself down. So stop. Stop doing it.
Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
Easier
watch
said
this
than done.
episode back and take some notes and make some
Yes.
changes. But the one commitment that I'm making is I'm gonna fix my notifications before Monday. So hold me to it, girl.
All right, so the book that we were talking about earlier by David Allen, Getting Things Done, The Art of Stress-Free Productivity. So I am so glad you had that on your shelf because I really liked that. Obviously, any way that you can be more productive in a stress-free way
Yeah.
uh, is going to lead you away from burnout. And I really enjoyed that book. Enjoyed the person who taught us about that book and the way that I still do things. One of the things that I left out that I thought was really smart, and when I was talking about how I get a task done and I check it off the list and then I check all my notifications and I just make sure that we're all good so that I can focus in for another task. One of the things in there was that anything that you can get done in under 2 minutes, you need to get done now.
Immediately.
Like,
Just do it.
immediately, just do it and just knock it off the list because Um, it helps you feel more productive because you're getting a whole bunch of stuff done in a small amount of time. Love that. But also jam up your list and make it feel really overwhelming. If you can just do things that you don't even add to the list, you're just like, oh, I just need to send
Just get it done.
a calendar
Send a
invite.
message real quick. I
Yeah.
love this book too because it's got these like I don't know if you can see on the screen, these work flow charts where it's like, okay, you got your inbox here. What is it? Is it actionable? Yes or no? And it's like, answer these questions and it will tell
Hmm.
you, like, do it now, defer it,
Hmm.
delegate it. Does this need to go on the calendar? Does it need to go on your to do list? What do you do with this item?
Hmm.
I really like that system, and I learned this really early on. Like my inbox in my email is a to-do list. If
Hmm.
there's an item still in my inbox, it means that I haven't addressed it yet. If I've
Yep.
already addressed it, it needs to be filed away in a folder or it needs to be deleted. If it's still waiting on me, then it's in the inbox. So that when I have to scroll in my inbox, that's like, okay, we've got a lot going on. And sometimes
Yeah.
it's just like, hey, Mandy, you should stop shopping at Ulta so much. Like you won't
Yeah.
have so many
Yeah.
receipts in here. But
Yeah. Get those filed away. Yeah.
yep.
So, anyway, if you were looking for something to help with productivity, to make sure that you're getting plenty done so you're not
Yeah.
hitting this burnout state, that was a game changer for me. We
You
said
said
it in
it.
this episode too.
You just did it. But this time it was you. I'm usually
I
the one that
know.
uses that one, and I see you cringe every time like, "This bitch."
Yeah. But it that's a saying for a reason. Like
Yep.
it there were things that I learned in corporate that I would take and I would be like, doing this. This is
Yeah.
great. And that book is something, I mean, I still do. If you look at my to-do list, it's all broken down by, you're not gonna be able to see it, but I have a list for phone, email, computer, branding, social media, websites. I have a list for just ideas that I need to put into
Mhm.
practice somewhere, errands. Because have you ever been like, oh, I need to run out and do this? And you go and do something because it's at the top of your list. And then later in the day, you're like, I was right
I
by the
didn't
post
pick up the
office. All I
dry
had to
cleaning, and I
do,
was already there. Yes,
yep.
absolutely.
So I do
Or
everything on the errand list at the same time. So great.
I leave to do I'm gonna go do all my errands or whatever it is that I gotta do, and I can run through that list, and I'm already out, and then I'm like, "Oh, crap. I knew I was going to Target, but I really
Hmm.
wanted to take those curtains back, but I didn't think about all the things I had to do before I left the house. So I didn't collect all the things that I needed to
Hmm.
do. Or maybe when I'm out, I want to go to the grocery store and then I get there and I'm like, crap. Before I
Hmm.
left, I didn't even bother to open the fridge and see what we actually have.
Hmm.
That gets frustrating. So when you have your
Yeah.
list in that way and it's like, okay, I'm about to be in the car, what can I get done in the car? And you run down those lists and it's
Hmm.
like, oh, if I'm going to go to the grocery store, I need to run check the fridge. Or, oh,
Hmm.
if I'm going to be in Target, I need to, like, is there
Yeah.
anything that I need to take
Get
back?
prepared.
I've
Hmm.
also started putting things like that, like, for instance, remember a couple of episodes ago when I was telling you about the Goodwill stuff that was on my table?
Yeah.
First of all, I did take that to Goodwill. That actually got
That's
dropped off.
good. Yeah.
But since then, I did another closet clean out because I think that was like all kid stuff. I did a closet
Mhm.
clean out on my dresses and they're all in my trunk. So that way when I'm out and it crosses my mind, like, oh, there's Goodwill. Well, we can just
Mhm.
pull right in because I have it with me. So those
Mhm.
things that like when it's stuff
Mhm.
that is needed to do those errands, like
Yep.
immediately just put it in the car so that you have it with
Yep.
you.
It's very smart. Yeah, I mean, we could talk all day about efficiencies
It has
and
nothing to do
all
with
of this.
technology, but
It doesn't,
squirrel.
but that's where some of this conversation went, and I think that it's something that probably a lot of people deal with because I am always fighting, like always trying to find different processes to make this all work for me.
Yep.
But yeah, the technology of it all can be helpful and hurtful, and you just have to balance it all out right. So,
Yep. Well, speaking of technology, I'm going to get back to work. I
yeah.
hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you later.
Yes. All right. Have a good
Mhm.
week. Bye.
Bye.